So I want to explain to you how okay. So let me tell you what happens when the motherboard of the 3D matrix that siphons energy through emotions, behaviors. Let me tell you how it works. So the prison system says we need to make sure that this cloud, this energy field is full with energy that we can use. So we're going to take a lot of men who probably really didn't even do anything to deserve to be here. We're going to give them way more time than they deserve. We're going to use it to siphon energy, but we're going to be sure to use a Bible in the court so that we can get them under some type of sorcery or spell work that was created by someone who was a demonologist, so he understands how demons operate. King James understood. He created this. This is what we're going to use to be able to siphon life force energy. We're going to take them, we're going to put this in this energy center that is going to be siphoning their life force energy. We're going to put them in orange jumpsuits so that we're resonating with the sacral chakra, and that way the sexual creative energy that these particular groups of people naturally possess in high amounts will be used to feed into the system of oppression and supremacy that we have created. So since these people are powerful, instead of letting them be powerful, we're going to use them for our own reasons, and many of them are nefarious. Next, we're going to take a lot of high priestesses, oracles, healers, conjurers, and we're going to put them all in a building, and that building is going to be called a church. And we're going to siphon life force energy from the feminine, from the womb space, and we're going to use that energy, send it up through the sacred geometry of the building, through the steeple, so that it can be projected out into the energy field that we are using, the mental field, which is where we manipulate thoughts, where we manipulate frequencies, where we manipulate consciousness, where we keep a fence that is known as the prison planet up to keep people from accessing their cosmic power. These particular women are women of bloodlines who were natural conjurers, high priestesses, healers, and anything else that you could find in between, including shamans. They walk in between realms. They have great power. Since we can't physically control them the way that we used to, we will psychologically control them through something called religion. And the definition of religion is to bind. So we will bind the mind of the kind who was put on this planet to be powerful as sovereign beings, which will make it seem as if they're doing something that's helping everybody, but they don't know alchemy. They don't know astrotheology. They don't know why the Bible is called the Biblios Helios, which is the book of the sun, S-U-N. They have no idea why, and we told them not to perform divination, not to look to the moon, sun, and stars for any types of signs, but that's how we found Jesus. That's how the magicians, magi's found Jesus. We did it, but they are not allowed to do that. So we're going to trap them in a system that's not going to allow them to feel their power, and they're going to feel powerless. And the more that they pray and pray and pray and pray and take communion, drink blood and drink flesh, eat the flesh of the body, they just keep doing that and praying and hoping for change, and nothing changes. So we have a lot of energy that we can siphon from them of despair, suffering, pain, desperation, grief. Grief is delicious to these entities. And so we will siphon that. And this is a system of vampirism. And then we're going to take those two things that we're using to get all of this energy, and we're going to use this to make sure that we fuel into these other archetypes and demigods that most of them know nothing about. And even if people try to tell them, they're not going to believe them. So we have them stuck. We have them trapped in a 3D matrix where the frequency is just one notch above hell, if you can experience that. And we're going to make sure that we take the frequencies in the air through the radio, through the music they're listening to. We're going to make sure that it's fueled by this trauma. It's fueled by the hatred. It's fueled by the desire to red rum, red rum, red rum, red rum. We're going to infuse this hateful energy, this energy of division, this energy of envy, this pain, despair, jealousy, greed, grief. We're going to take all of these things and infuse them into something that is going to be called music, created by musicians who are really magicians, and most of them do not know that they are magicians, nor do they know the rules of engagement as being a magician. So they're doing damage, but most of them don't really know how much damage they're doing. But anyone who can destroy can also heal. When rappers heal, our world will heal more as well. And to make sure that we keep those in the entertainment energy and enslavement, we'll make sure that they demean the wombs of the planet, which are those that are the only ones able to call a soul from the cosmos down inside of their body and build a body for that soul to inhabit from scratch, all inside of her womb space. And she's going to give the calcium from her teeth and the magnesium from her body to this child. She's going to become a source of feeding. She's going to nurture. She's going to sacrifice parts of her own being, some of the food that she eats, her nutrients, her minerals, to go to the soul. We're going to make sure that they demean that group of women. Because by doing that, they create negative karmic debt, and that karmic debt is going to keep them trapped. And the sexual energy would keep anyone trapped that is having sex with them, because we're using sexual transmutation and sex magic. And we told them that this was wrong to not learn how to do this, so they're not going to have any idea it's being done to them or what to do about it. And we also must make sure that we mess up the frequency during the full moon. And so we're going to make sure that parasites have plenty of reasons to thrive in the human body. We're going to make sure that we normalize these things, starting with the baby's birthday, with their first birthday, the gift that we give to them as a collective ritual, since nobody else thinks that they have ever done magic before. So many of us don't think we've ever done magic. And so, but you're doing rituals when you give something to a child for a specific reason, with a specific intent, in a specific way. And so when you give a child birthday cake that's filled with sugar and gluten and dairy and all these things this child does not need, you're initiating them into a reality where poison is considered normal. Not just normal, it's celebratory. This child is now going to be addicted to something that's going to make sure it keeps them in our other energy center known as hospitals. Yes, we use sacred geometry to ensure that we're able to get the energy that we need, and we want no one to know that it's happening. And the food that they are eating and sharing with one another is going to continue to create dis-ease. And that dis-ease will lead to money and power, and we will be able to keep people oppressed without them knowing that they are making the choice to be oppressed by the daily choices that they make. So when the full moon comes, the parasites will get the acting up. We'll be able to fill up the jails. We'll be able to fill up the hospitals. And we'll also be able to ensure that the system that we set up to summon, conjure, and siphon life force energy in beings capable of creating magnetic fields and electric fields so powerful that they could heal one another. But we're going to put that in reverse. We're going to feed off of that during the full moon. And this is going to keep these cultures and people who are within these cultures in a cycle of karmic debt. Incarnation after incarnation after incarnation. Thus, this is how the prison planet is run in the movie that I'm thinking about creating.